You're listening to COB, Conversations on the Business of Brands, with Sudeep Chawla and Sharavana Raghavan.
Okay, Sharan, we have spoken about a lot of aspects of brand building, marketing, and the way businesses and their GTMs and their packaging, etc., can be built. And we seem to have covered a fair amount of spectrum of marketing activities that we could pontificate or ideate about. What do you want to talk about today?
Today, we're talking about something that we have touched upon in the past. I was watching the trailer of this movie, Air. It's about how Nike ended up signing Michael Jordan for the brand. And Jordan Air was born from there. And it's got Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and got some very high-profile guys in it. And if a movie can be made out of a brand signing a celebrity, I'm sure we can do a podcast about celebrities and brands.
Nice. Let's get started. What do you have in your mind?
So I encounter a lot of these conversations about brand endorsements, where people look at signing on a celebrity as a growth hack and saying that will rocket my brand to the top of the tier and all that. And we know that that doesn't always happen. But I thought it'd be good to talk about saying, given that both of us have worked with celebrities on our brands, what we can take away from it and how a brand should and should not use a celebrity as an endorser.
Okay. So do you have any kind of structure, any kind of observation around it?
I've got observations to say. I don't belong to any camp. So there's one camp that says celebrities are a vanity for marketers and they don't help a brand in any way. It's a waste of money. That money is better spent on business and other marketing activities. And there are other brands that swear by celebrities. And in fact, they go through celebrities like consumers go through brands themselves. And I don't really have a stand on this. I mean, I'm sure you'd agree that it actually depends on how the celebrity is used by the brand than about a yes or no answer.
That's true. When you said that brands go through celebrities like consumer go through brands, do you have certain brands in mind that we are going to name today?
Of course, we'll name a lot of brands and a lot of celebrities today. I think that should make up the interesting part or the entertaining part of the podcast, if not for you and me. You've seen Pepsi. You've seen Thumbs Up, especially all the soft drink brands, right? They've gone through so many celebrities on a seasonal basis. And somehow, most of them try and make it stick. Even if there is Amir Khan, who was on Pepsi, then went to Coke, and then went back to Pepsi. I don't know if that happened, but he's actually found, or the brands found great ways to use him. It works. It works if the brand knows how to use the celebrity. There's also this trend of late of celebrities being a lot more accessible. Earlier, it was primarily the on-screen persona which carried over to what was happening on the brand, even into the 90s. With social media and the celebrities being available on social media, they've managed to cultivate two different kinds of personalities. One that's on screen and one that they put out on social media. And brands are okay to leverage either or both to promote their brands, which I find it's pretty interesting. I think Janhvi Kapoor on one of the shows said that her social media is about her documenting her life and doing brand endorsements. And her movies are for her to grow as an actor, and they got nothing to do with the brand she endorses. And I thought that was actually very, very clear, a great clarity to have as a celebrity. And then you have celebrities who are investing in brands. Shilpa Shetty on Mama Earth, Deepika Padukone on Epigamia. And there are quite a few ways, celebrities have invested in brands. It could be sweat equity, it could be actual investments being done. And they actually monetize themselves as the celebrity value they're bringing to the brand. So I think it's the entire celebrity endorsement space has evolved brilliantly.
It has. In fact, I would also say that the definition of celebrity has also evolved and broadened. So previously we used to talk about only film stars as celebrities. Then you started expanding it to TV stars as well, with some of the mega shows becoming big, etc., etc. Then you went on to some reality TV shows, people who were making it big on Indian Idol and Jhalak Dikla Jai and stuff like that. And now you have reached a stage where a lot of social media celebrities slash influencers are now considered celebrities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So recently I saw this post by, I forgot the name of her real name. She goes by the name of Mostly Sane.
Okay.
Yeah. And she has starred in one or two Bollywood movies
Mm-hmm.
after getting popularity on social media. And she recently starred in a Cadbury ad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Love Tapes ad. And she had put out a social media post saying that when she was a kid, her father used to work in Cadbury canteen.
Right. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So her name is Prajakta Kohli.
Right.
So she had put out this ad, and that post received fair amount of traction.
Hmm.
So, and for obvious purposes, etc. But it got me thinking on the definition of celebrity has also changed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And some of these
Absolutely.
guys are much more approachable, much more real, and hence they have the appeal that they have.
Right.
Yeah. If you listen to, for example, to this guy called Mr. Beast.
Yes.
Yeah. I listened to his podcast conversation on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Mm-hmm.
You're just amazed by the kind of maturity and nobility that he brings on the table. And then you are surprised because he's just 23 years old.
Oh, wow. He's just
Yeah.
23.
He's just 23. He's the highest viewed YouTube influencer. He has 3 or 4 channels. Some of them are pure entertainment, where he creates what he calls as react videos to other game. When he plays a game or he watches videos and he just reacts to it. And then there is a philanthropy channel of his, where he gives away stuff and he raises significant amount of money. And then there is one where he creates real content, where the highest ever viewed video of his is where he recreated the entire Squid Games with a slightly different rules, etc., etc., and he shot it extensively. He spent a significant amount of money shooting it. Yeah. So those are the things that he creates just to make sure that he's able to keep his viewers going, and he channelizes a lot of that money towards his philanthropy channel. He has now opened businesses. He has something called Beast Burger and all of that. So he's big. He's really, really big. He will come very close to what you call as real celebrity now,
Right.
just basis his YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Closer home, Ayu Shraddha meeting the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I thought that was, I think she's that character of hers, the sketches
Mm.
born during the pandemic.
Yes, true.
And it's just taken her 2 years to get the traction she's got.
Correct.
It's amazing.
Correct. So, okay, roll back. We started from saying that we want to talk about celebrity usage by brands as
Right.
growth hack. So, let's get to crux of your observations. What are the key things you would want to possibly talk to all the brand owners about?
So there are good ways to use celebrities and there are bad ways to use celebrities. Even in the good, you could divide them into strategic and tactical. Now, the word tactical is seen very negatively by a lot of people, but I don't think tactical is wrong. It's about making sure what you're using it for. How I define it is that strategic is when the celebrity is intrinsic to the brand narrative and it's built with a long-term view and not just about immediate benefits on the brand. And I think Dr. Fix-It that you work on is a great example of that. Tactical is when there is a certain issue on the brand or certain issue to be resolved immediately or to be addressed or corrected in the brand narrative, and use a celebrity to do that. And both are fine. I think even between strategic and tactical, it's about a point where celebrities can be used as themselves, as actors, or as a part of their narrative that is out in pop culture.
Yeah, I would possibly say that, regardless of whether you're using celebrity strategically, which is to further your brand equity or to get your message translated or registered with the consumer, or if you are using celebrity tactically, which is to solve an immediate situation that a brand might have. My observation has been that regardless of the reason, the way you use the celebrity, the actual execution, is a significant factor in the celebrity usage becoming beneficial or burden for the brand.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. uh, and it is not just about your ability to think up the right creative. It, I think, starts from the creative strategy,
Absolutely.
and people around the celebrity have to be clear, around the brand have to be clear. And in my observation, the best way to use a celebrity is by making sure that the celebrity and their usage is subservient to the brand and its message, and not the other way around. And there are numerous examples where I see brands desperately trying to fit their message by twisting their message to fit to the celebrity's persona, which they really, really want to leverage. And that, almost makes their message unrecognizable or very tedious to understand. And then the ad works better for the celebrity and worse for the brand. So the celebrity is getting their money, they're getting their share of voice, and brands people don't remember.
That is true. Can you think of anybody who is doing that?
I see this happening a lot of the times with people who star cricket celebrities. Yeah, they somehow feel compelled to use scripts which have cricket analogies, as if people, when they see a Dhoni or a Sachin, they wouldn't recognize them as cricketers if they don't talk about fours and sixes and bat and ball. When you try and do that, then you have to fit your script into some of those analogies. And when you jump through hoops to do that, you are making the consumer also jumps through those hoops of
And consumer's
understanding.
not going to, right?
Consumers is going to say, screw it. I saw Dhoni, he was doing something, and that's the end of it.
Right.
Yeah. So I remember this Chhattisgarh uh, cricket team, I think, yeah, which has Ishan Kishan and few other guys. They were roped in for promoting some public interest message.
Right. The
Yeah,
RBI message, I think. Yeah.
I think some
Hmm.
RBI or IRDII message,
Hmm.
and they were roped in for that. And I thought it was a very good idea by the government to do that, uh, because they caught hold of the right set of guys, and they were able. And those were all young guys, so they were. It came naturally for people who would be of that age to talk about this. But again, the script was so convoluted, because it'll talk about losing your wicket if you're not attentive, and then they'll try to mix up the analogy of what not to do when you're doing something with your card, etc. It just, I think it takes away the simplicity of the message, and it kind of assumes that the audience is dumb and they don't understand. They can't understand Ishan Kishan is a cricketer, so now I need to give him cricket analogies to make sure that he understands that Ishan Kishan is a cricketer. And they forget the ad is not to establish Ishan Kishan as a cricketer. Yeah, so they assume the audience is dumb, but they make the message so convoluted and intelligent, and then I don't know how they reconcile it in their heads.
True. But I'm going to ask a question that's going to put you on the spot
Hmm.
to say, why does this happen? Is it because of the brand manager who's a fan of the celebrity? Or does it happen because the creative team is out of ideas?
Number of reasons. Sometimes the um, use of the celebrity has been pushed through by somebody in authority, and the brand team slash creative team possibly is not on the same page, and therefore their disinterest in the work shows. Yeah. uh, Also, I think a lot of the time, brand team as well as the creative team completely get enamored by the presence of the celebrity, and then they think that they will need to write it in a certain manner to pander to the wish and whims and fancies of the celebrity, and then they completely go down that drain. Sometimes I think some of the celebrity and their managers are also somehow too touchy, too sensitive about all of this. They think they are doing their own brand value a good service. However, they don't understand that marketers can see through this. That here is a guy who is going to meddle too much into creative, and he's going to, then contort the creative to suit a certain liking of his, and then they are going to stay away from you. So I think those could be various reasons why I see this happening, and then you get what you get.
I completely agree. The sense that if a brand has to be the master of the narrative when it's being endorsed. The moment the celebrity supersedes the brand cannot recover after that. All your investment in airing the campaign will go in service of the celebrity, and nothing else is going to benefit the brand too much. But that said, today I'm the good cop today, so I'm going to talk about the better use of celebrities.
You're listening to Cobb, Conversations on the Business of Brands. Your hosts are Sudeep Chawla, marketing practitioner, business leader, and educator to advertising and marketing professionals, and Sharavana Raghavan of Vitral Brand Expertise, growth consultants to consumer-facing brands and businesses. For more information, go to cobbcast.net. If you find this podcast helpful, please help us by telling your friends and rating us.
Okay, so let me now ask you a question.
Okay.
A lot of the times, a lot of the founders, business owners who are listening to us might be thinking about various examples where you use the celebrity as the face of your brand, and then you stick with them for some time, at least a year or a season, etc., etc. Then there are players like Cred, for example, who will use some 5 celebrities in a particular campaign, and then they'll use the next 5 in another campaign. They will have a slew of celebrities. Where would you put it? How would you define that usage?
So to answer it point blank, I think Cred is using celebrities for shock value, and they're using them very tactically. And the creative team is probably catered to the brief perfectly to create shock value among the audiences so that download Cred sticks in people's minds. And that's it. It's been such a sharp brief. It does not mean I agree with the brief, but the brief consistently seems to be download Cred and make it a high shock value that it sticks with people's minds. And they've not repeated a celebrity across their ads, and they use them short term, and that's very, very tactical. And it's not wrong if that's the objective of the brand.
Fair. I think well said. So it is almost using celebrity as actors.
Yes.
And not as endorsers.
Absolutely. And if you say it's also a way of playing on the public persona of the celebrity to create the shock value. They're always playing the anti-type of themselves in all the Cred ads.
Yeah, they've actually done it differently in many campaigns. So their most famous one was possibly that Rahul Dravid. Yeah. मैं इंदिरा नगर का गुंडा हूँ. Yeah. So that's where each one of them is completely playing the opposite flip side of their personality.
Right. Oh yeah, the ones before that with Bappida and all was very different to this. It wasn't the anti-type.
So usme these guys were following exactly their personality while auditioning for a role for a Cred ad.
Right. Actually, let's look at other ways of using celebrities tactically. Right?
Yeah.
To say, one of the things I can never forget is how Amitabh Bachchan was used on CDM after the worm controversy. And I think it started off as a tactical campaign, which eventually became a strategic partnership with the Papu Paas Ho Gaya. The entire series of Kuch Meeta Ho Jaye campaign was kicked off with Amitabh Bachchan, but he was brought on to leverage his credibility as Amitabh Bachchan. I think that was a very tactical campaign which became strategic over time. And this is the short-term objective of addressing the credibility issue the brand was facing at that point.
Yeah, I would actually say that there were two different engagements with Amitabh at that point in time.
Hmm.
One engagement, like you said, is specifically to address the incident,
Right.
the 2003 incident,
Hmm.
and where he made a series of ad. The first one was where he says that जब कैडबरी वाले मेरे पास आए तो मैंने उनसे एक ही सवाल पूछा, क्या इसके बाद मैं रात को चैन की नींद सो पाऊंगा? वो मुझे अपनी फैक्ट्री ले गए एंड देन दे शो दैट he does the tour and they introduce the purity seal etc. And then in the end he says very nicely that आजकल मुझे रात को बहुत अच्छी नींद आती है. Then they did another one where he has a grandkid sitting on his lap where he says कि ये खाओ, तो the kid says no, मम्मी कहती है इसके अंदर कुछ है. तो then he says हाँ कुछ तो है, इसके अंदर बहुत सारा प्यार है, मिठास है, etc etc. And the insight there was that people might still believe you but they might not put it in their kids mouth because that is what they are most sensitive about. So I think with all of that, they used Amitabh on those 2-3 ads to specifically deliver their message with significant amount of credibility. So that was the tactical part, I think, that you were referring to. And then later I think they utilized Amitabh very very well as a character in variety of ads. And the beauty of that again was that Amitabh was subservient to the core message, and therefore I think it worked well.
Absolutely. And similarly, Amir Khan did on Coke also, right? When Coke
Yeah.
was going through a PR issue.
Yeah.
I think that's a very tactical campaign done right. On that note, to move into the strategic space, how brands build celebrities into their narrative. And one thing that always sticks in my mind is Gillette. They took Roger Federer, Dravid, and the line was best a man can get. And they played on the tagline of best a man can get about with the celebrities that they had signed on. And these celebrities could work almost world over. And I thought that was a brilliant way of getting the celebrity onto your brand and still keeping your brand prominent and leveraging both together. And the other one is to story match. So with a lot of personal stories of celebrities coming to the fore, if a brand can create association with the story of the celebrity, then that kind of catches on very well. Now, what that does is that also gets you a lot of earned media because the regular media is going to capture the celebrity story anyway. I remember, especially with Dhoni, he was among the first small town superstars of cricket. So he wouldn't endorse a very hi-fi brand at the start, but he'd endorse a big bazaar fashion. He was on Kiwi shoe polish, if I remember right, for Sara Lee. And as in the TTR costume, he'd go and show off the canvas shoes, how he was polishing his canvas shoes, and how he could dream big if he kept his discipline. I think that was matching the story. And more of Dhoni's story of him from a TTR to a cricketer was highlighted. Kiwi stood to benefit. And you also identify with the aspirational journey that the star has been through. And the third kind of strategic usage is the life stage specific usage, which couple that come to mind are Anushka Sharma on Slurp Farm. As a young mom, I think she fit the TG perfectly. And that association does not jar at all because, yes, she is going to be feeding her kid something. And if she's endorsing Slurp Farm, it means she's done her research. And therefore, that works brilliantly. Kareena Kapoor on Prega News when her pregnancy was all over the news. Pun unintended. But Prega News stood to gain significantly when anybody spoke about Kareena Kapoor's pregnancy for this time. So there are ways to get celebrities to endorse your brand where they're going to earn you even more media than the media you're paying for.
Yeah. A controversial one that I can add to this one. I remember there was a insurance brand. I don't remember which one. That's the problem about branding. They were working with Yuvraj Singh when he went through his own battle with with cancer. You know, they were trying to counter this notion that most of the Indians have when they don't buy insurance, where they think that the illness is real, the problem is real, but it will not happen with me. And that is where this guy came in. They put out an ad where this guy says that I always thought that I was a cricketer, very healthy, and etc. etc. But why me? And then he puts out this thing that if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody else. And I think it fit the brand narrative possibly very well. clearly they did not do a great job at branding. When you said life stage, it just came to my mind.
Life stage is also done well with Sachin and Dhoni playing tennis for mutual funds.
Yes, very good. Yes, mutual fund sahi hai.
Yeah.
Correct.
Planning for retirement.
Yeah, the Amitabh Bachchan ad of Binani Cement with the tagline saying "Sadiyon ke liye," and Amitabh takes all of us through the journey, through a thought process where he says that माँ बाप कहीं नहीं जाते, वो तो यहीं रहते हैं. Your parents stay alive in your mannerisms, in the way you conduct yourself, in things that you say, or in how your kids or their kids might look, and hence they stay around in one form or the other, and they are here for centuries. And then the brand connects saying Binani Cement, here for centuries, etc. So I think again done very well, but leveraging that life stage of Amitabh, where he is contemplative, he has a son and a granddaughter, and looks fondly at his parents and cherishes all the time that he spent with them, as well as their belongings, etc.
Right. That's beautiful. Now let's go into some more ways of how people shouldn't be using celebrities.
Okay.
So my favorite peeve is with the mobile category. Every mobile brand has a celebrity on board, and you cannot tell which celebrity is endorsing which brand. The entire category is so cluttered, and you only realize what phone they're endorsing when they put out a tweet about the phone from their iPhone, and that's the only time they get caught. And the only time the brand has any mileage from the celebrity is when a mistake happens on Twitter, because it becomes a troll.
Fair. I would say it's an inefficient usage of celebrity.
Yeah, it's an extremely inefficient usage, right? Because it's everybody's using one, so I also want to use one, without any thinking behind what the celebrity is going to do for the brand in the long run. That's the worst. Then I know people know it's a commercial engagement, and therefore when you make a very, very boring communication saying I endorse this brand, it's just not going to cut it. Like you said, the creative working hard on a celebrity engagement is a must. Even if the celebrity is everywhere, the creative must work solidly hard to make that communication stand out. And a lot of people miss it, saying, we've got a celebrity will do the job. No. You still have got to pull your weight to get the celebrity to work for the brand. And there are these celebrity controversies which end up hurting the brand pretty badly, which is cricketers, movie actors. Today, all of them are subjected to trolls if a movie flops, or if they're going through a bad form, or let alone them landing themselves in some kind of controversy. And that ends up affecting the brand also.
But those will be unforeseen, unfortunately. Yeah. And I also know that those are also built into the contract with the celebrity. So the force majeure of a contract also comes into play if the brand perceives that their reputation is at risk because of something that the celebrity seems to have said, done, or engaged in. Yeah. So that way the brands try to indemnify them and possibly limit the damage. But that's a risk that they have to live with.
I'm not calling that out as a brand issue. I'm saying those are the pitfalls of hiring a celebrity. If a celebrity is prone to controversies all the time, you should ideally steer clear. But there are brands who can make even that work for them if they use it right, knowing very well. So those are issues you need to be careful of when using the brand. And then there is always this case of overexposed celebrity usage. One celebrity in a season does almost every ad that you would watch in a day. And none of them will stick in your mind just because the same face telling you everything all the time. And we could keep going on about this topic. And I'm sure our listeners would also want to, but then it's high time we end somewhere.
On that note, thank you very much, Sharan.
Thank you, Sudeep.
Thank you for listening to COB, Conversations on the Business of Brands with Sudeep Chawla and Sharavana Raghavan. Subscribe and learn more at cobcast.net. That's COBBCAST.net.